Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this session. So, as you know, this is a seminar on Windows Server Administration and Network Administration. Today, we will try to understand why this administration is so important for us and what exactly is there in Windows Server Administration and the Network Administration, what you're going to learn. Okay, fine. So, before we see anything about MCAC, CCNA, cloud computing, whatever courses, whatever technologies, let us start from a very basic thing. And that basic thing is what exactly is a network? What exactly is a computer network? Now, see, the basic definition of a computer network is connection of devices. Connection of devices is a computer network. Fine. So what devices we connect in a computer network? We have devices like computers, servers, routers, switches, firewall. Okay, we have some cables to make connections between all these devices. I'll just etc. here because we have like some more devices. Okay, so this is your computer network, friends. Computer network is connection of devices. What devices? Computers, servers, routers, switches, firewalls, and all these devices. I'll take you to one computer network first. Fine. This is a very simple computer network which has all the devices that we have already mentioned before. Okay, we can see there is a server here. This is your server. There is a router. There is a switch. We have this firewall here. And we have these computers and desktops here. There is a scanner. There is a printer, as well as there is internet connection coming here. There will be some CCTV cameras somewhere, and there will be some other devices there like storage and all these devices will be there. So overall, this is what a computer network will look like. Fine. So we have connected all the devices. Now, first of all, who should connect this device? Who should connect server with computer? Okay, server with switch, computer with switch, router with switch. Who should make these connections? The administrator should make this connection. That is you and me. The people who do the network administration course or the server administration course, this is the responsibility of these people. They should make these connections. Okay. Okay, I got a message here like I can't hear your voice. Is it same with everyone? I'm audible, friends?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. So if I'm audible to other people, then there must be some problem with your settings. Can you just check your settings, please? Can you just remove your headphone and put it back? Okay, so I'm getting messages from many people like I'm audible. In case if I'm not audible to anyone, please check your settings. Just go to your sound settings and check your settings and see whether you're properly plugged your headphone in your machine properly or not. So there must be some problem at your side. If I'm not audible to all, then there could be a problem with me, but most of them can hear me properly except one person actually. Okay, fine. So what we said, let us go back to the basics. Computer network is connection of devices. Like these are the devices we have. And like I said, who should make this connection? The administrator should make this connection. So in coming classes, we will see how we can make connection. Okay. Where a server should be connected, where a router should be connected, and where a laptop or a computer should be connected, and what configuration should be done. All these things that will come in our administration part. But as of now, as a basic thing that we need to discuss, computer network is connection of devices. Okay, fine. The devices are connected with each other. Then what? Why we are connecting them actually? Why we are connecting all the devices with each other? Now, the main purpose of connecting devices with each other is sharing. Of course, this is a main purpose, right? What we can share? We can share data. We can share hardware. Okay. We can share software. Fine. We can share our internet, etc. Normally, when people talk about computer network and sharing and all those things, they only talk about sharing data. Of course, data sharing is one of the main purpose of a computer network. But you know how many internet connections you can see here now? See, there is only one internet connection coming in your network. And suppose imagine there are totally 1200 computers. 1200 is not a big number actually, first of all. It is like small or up to like medium level company. In a big company, it can be 12,000 computers or maybe like 15,000 computers. It can be more actually. Okay, so there are 1200 computers. It is somewhere like a medium level company. So how many internet connections we have there? We have only one internet connection, and that one internet connection we can share with all the people, all the 1200 people. Okay, for backup purpose, we can take one more internet connection. You know, one internet connection is sufficient, but there is no backup here, right? So for backup purpose, I can take two internet connections from two different ISPs. But still, if you take two internet connections for 1200 people, it is a good deal, right? We are not taking 1200 connections here. So what we need to do, we need to just take two internet connections and we need to share the internet connection with all the 1200 people. So this sharing of internet connection can be done on a server or it can be done on a router. So when you go with your server administration and network administration, one of the things you should learn here is how to share your internet connection with all the users. Okay, now there is some data here. Like if you go to this server, in server, there is a folder here with the name data folder. And this data folder has some files here. Like suppose my file name is server.doc. There are some documents, and let us say cloud.doc. These are the two documents we have in server. Now, when you see the topology here, friends, when you see the diagram, you can see clearly all the computers are connected to server. Okay, they are not connected directly. First of all, a computer will not be connected to server directly because it is not possible to connect 1200 computers directly to the server. So how we are connected here? This laptop is connected to this switch, and from this switch we are connected to the server. This desktop is connected to this switch, and from this switch we are connected to server. Whatever size network you see, maybe it is a very small network which has like 30, 40, 50 computers, or maybe it is a very big network with 40,000, 50,000 computers. The connections will be same. The devices, the end devices like computers will be connected to switch, and from switch it is connected to server. Done. So I can say the computers are connected to server here. Now there is a user here on this computer. Let us say the user name is, let's say Pradeep. I'll change the color. Okay, fine. So there is a Pradeep user sitting here. I'll take one more user from our classroom session. Let us say Santosh. So Pradeep is on one machine, Santosh is on one machine. Okay, fine. Now very simple question again. Pradeep is connected to server, Santosh is connected to server. Now Pradeep, can he access the data folder which is there on server? Or Santosh, can he access the data folder which is there on server? That is a main question. Data is there in the server, files and folders, everything is there in the server. So Pradeep and Santosh, can they access the folder or not? Now no one can say yes or no here. The actual answer will be, it depends on the configuration what we have done in server. If a user is connected to server, it does not mean user can access everything from server. Now user can access only those files and folders which are allowed for him, where there is a permission for him. If there is no permission, user cannot access anything. Okay, so who should give these permissions? The administrator should give the permission. The server administrator will give the permission to a user. So if Pradeep user is allowed, then Pradeep user can connect to the server and he can access data folder and he can access server document and client document on cloud document. If there is no permission for Santosh, Santosh can connect to the server. Santosh, maybe he can access some other files and folder from the server, but he cannot access the data folder or he cannot access the server file or a cloud. So see, it's a very simple scenario, right? So like this, there are 1200 users. Every user has their own files and folders. Okay, every user should get some permission on a particular folder or particular document. So who should do this? Who should give these permissions? The administrator will give the permission. See friends, just try to remember one thing very in a simple way. The devices will not work on their own. The devices will not work on their own. Server or a router or a switch or a computer or a firewall, it will not work automatically. There should be someone who should configure these devices. There should be someone who should configure and manage these devices. So who are the people in companies who will configure and manage these devices? These people are known as server administrators and the network administrators. Got it? Server administrators and the network administrators. These are the people who will connect the devices with each other, who will configure servers, routers, and switches, who will manage computer, routers, servers, and switches, as well as they will do troubleshooting. You will not see a computer network anywhere. You cannot see a computer network anywhere without a server administrator or a network administrator. Whatever the size of the company may be, again, smallest company with 30-40 computers or the biggest company with like 50,000, 70,000 computers, you will see these administrators for sure. So who are these administrators here, friends? These administrators are server administrator and the network administrators. These are the two administrators we have to take in every setup. Okay, so let me just write things in much clear way. And one more thing here, friends, the chat box is always open for you. So if there is any doubt, if there is any query regarding anything, whatever we are discussing here, feel free to send me a message. Feel free to send your query in the chat box. Okay, I'll just address your question at the best time possible. So this is a seminar. So seminar is conducted just to clear all your doubts and just to make sure where exactly you can move in your career from today. And coming to me, I started my career like 13 years before. I started my career from Windows Server administration, then into the network administration, 2008 actually. Yeah. So around 13 years or 13 plus of years experience I have. Not only Windows Server or network administration, I have like experience on Linux administration, virtualization, that is VMware and all those things. Okay, I have done some security things also. Right now I'm into like cloud. I'm just taking the AWS classes and I'm working on this cloud computing and all those things currently. I'm just into training of this cloud computing and all those things, especially AWS. Hopefully after some months, maybe like Azure will be the next target for me. So I have like experience on like most of the platforms in last 12-13 years. So 12-13 years is not a small thing, right? If a person is in a field for like 12 to 13 years, he should explore many things. He should not be stuck to one particular like only server administration or only network administration. There are many things available in networking, right? So I'm like, I have gone through like most of the big technologies that are there. So whatever doubts you have, whatever questions you have, whatever queries you have, feel free to send me a message in the chat box. This seminar is conducted only for this purpose actually. Just to show you like what is the importance of server administration and network administration and where else you can move after like completing these courses. Okay, fine. So this is also administration, server administration and network administration. Okay, so like I said there is no computer network on the face of the earth where the computers, servers, routers, switches are not available, and there is no network where the devices are working by themselves, but devices are working automatically. So there will be some people, there must be some people who should configure and manage these devices. Okay, so let us see the responsibility that comes under server administration and the responsibility that comes under the network administration. Fine. Okay, let us see what is a server. I'll ask a simple question. Can you please tell me, like, in a very simple way, according to you, what exactly is a server? Server is a very common word, common terminology we are hearing from like maybe our school life. If someone is a fresher here, or maybe having like 2-3 years of experience, or maybe completed college like 2-3 years before, you can say like 10 years before also, you know, there is something called a server, right? So according to you, what exactly is a server? Like I said, the chat box is always open here. You can simply send a message in the chat box. See, whenever we connect to the internet, we will connect to some server actually. Right now, we are connected to this classroom session. We are attending this, seminar through like Zoom meeting. That means we are connected to Zoom server. Okay. Here you can see there is a Google server. Every day, like whenever we access internet, like 90% cases, first we go to Google, right? So we are connected to Google server. Okay. So we can go and connect to the Facebook. So there is a Facebook server. We can book some cab over a Ola or Uber. That means we are connected to Ola or Uber server. We can order some food. We can connect to like Swiggy or Zomato. Okay. We can do some shopping. That means we are connected to Amazon or Flipkart. Okay. So whatever you do over internet, we are connected to server. Okay. So the basic meaning of a server here is server means serve. You know the meaning of serve, right? Like when you go to a restaurant, you order something there. Like suppose if you order like a burger. So what waiter will do? He will serve you the burger, right? You're asking for a burger, so he will serve you for a burger. But if you order like suppose a North Indian dish, suppose something like suppose anything, like say chole bhature. Suppose if you order chole bhature, what waiter will do? He will serve you the chole bhature, right? He will not serve you the biryani. He will not say like, oh man, you're in Hyderabad, you should eat biryani. That's not the way, right? So you're asking something, so he will serve you something. That's it. You're asking particular food, so he will serve you that particular food. You're asking for a particular, dress over the online shopping, so you're getting that particular dress with particular color and size and everything. That is called serving. Server is a machine that will serve the request of client. I repeat, server is a machine that will serve the request of client. Now, for example, I said www.google.com here. So what I got here, I got Google server. What I can do in this Google server, I can search anything. Yeah, like suppose if I say cloud computing. Once I say cloud computing, I'll get all the details of cloud computing. Fine. Suppose if I say biryani, what I'll get some information of biryani here. So whatever, that is a search engine, right? So I can do this searching. Now, instead of www.google.com, what if I say, suppose www.gmail.com? You know what happens when I say www.gmail.com? I'll be connected to my mail server. Yes, you will be connected to your mailbox. I'll be connected to my mailbox, and we can access our emails. That is a different server. Google.com is one server. Gmail.com is another server. There is something called Google Drive.com. So we can connect to the Google Drive, where we can like upload and download some files and folders and all those things. So there are different types of servers available. Server means it is a machine that is serving the request of a client. Okay. Server is a machine that will serve the request of a client. So there are different types of servers we have. There is a server called DNS. There is a server called DHCP. There is a server called web. There is a server called application. See, I have entered 4 different servers. You know why I have entered this 4 servers specially? Right now, we are connected to this online session. And in the background, DNS server, DHCP server, web server, and application server. Actually, these 4 servers are working for us. Where they are working, XYZ, they are working at some location that we will see in more details when we go with those servers. Okay, where is the DNS server? Where is the DHCP server? What is a web server? What is application server? That is not the discussion for today. The discussion here is these are the 4 servers that are working for us. That is the reason we are able to like attend this online class. We are able to conduct this online class. These are the 4 servers working in the background. Whenever you access anything over the internet, DNS and DHCP server is working, web server is working, application server is working. And when you select www.gmail.com, your email server is working. Whenever you access and upload and download some files, and there is something called file server working. So there are different servers we have, guys. There are different types of servers we have. So these servers are available over the internet as well as the servers are available within the company. There are certain servers which are available only in the company, like ADDS, Active Directory Domain Services. This is one of the most important server you will see within your company, Active Directory Domain Services. This server is available only for company, only for your private network. See, internet means for public. Anyone can connect to internet. Intranet means for private. Like if you go and search for a company, like, there are many companies in India and all the other countries from wherever you are connecting to this session. There is a company like Google or Yahoo or HP or Dell or Toshiba or Wipro or, you can name like many companies here, right? So when you go to a company's network, okay, wait a second. See, there are some people working here. They are working for a company, right? They are working for a company. Maybe it is a banking sector, maybe it is a call center, or maybe it is like, a software company, or maybe it is like any XYZ company. In this company also, there are some servers. So where are these servers located within the company? The servers are located here. These are the physical servers, what you see on your screen. This is the server room. And in this server room, you can see all the servers connected in a rack. Okay, we'll come to this in more details in our coming sessions. But as of now, these are the physical servers. And in this physical servers, we are running some services like a DNS service, a DHCP service. And the most important service that we run here is your Active Directory Domain Services. So these are the services, or some of the services we need to learn in our server administration course. See, you took a server. Server is a machine like your computer and a laptop. These are your physical machines. So server is also a physical machine. Okay, as well as it is a virtual machine. Nowadays, when there is a cloud computing technology or a virtualization technology, it will be a virtual machine also. But virtual machine is running actually on a physical machine only. Virtual machine is not running in air. There is a very simple difference we need to understand here. You can take one single physical machine and you can run a service like DHCP. That's it. Or you can take one single physical machine. You can make multiple virtual machines in that one physical machine, and you can run all the services in that physical machine. But in that physical machine, what we have many virtual machines, right? So anyhow, server is a physical machine or a virtual machine, whatever. So first you should take a server. Then we should install a server operating system in it, like Windows Server 2016 or 2019, whatever. Or you can go with the Linux operating system. Done, installation is done. So then we need to see like how to install DHCP service and how to configure. First of all, you should know what is DHCP service, how to install DHCP service, how to configure DHCP service. Then you should know what is DNS service, how to install DNS service and how to configure DNS service. Then you should know what is ADDS service, how to install ADDS service and how to configure DNS, how to configure ADDS service. This is what you need to learn, and this is the way you need to work in a company. This is what server administration is all about. Take a server, install the operating system, and install and configure a service on that particular server. So in this diagram, in this computer topology, you can see only one server here, right? There is only one server visible here, but I can say with like 1000% guarantee that you will not see a company with one server. That is literally not possible. One server is not at all sufficient. You need many servers here. One server for DNS, one server for DHCP. So on average, you may get like 12, 15, 20 servers in a company. If it is a big company, it can be some hundreds of servers. So the quantity of servers will increase for sure. It will not be one, it will be more. Got it? So whatever, this is a server. Server is a machine, that is a raw machine, that is a dummy machine. Take this server, install this server operating system, and configure the services. And by using the services, we can control and we can serve the client people. This is what we need to learn in server administration. Installation, configuration, and administration. Installation, configuration, and administration of different servers. I hope this is clear, friends. I'll be here for like 30 seconds. I'll wait for like 30 more seconds. Just try to revise what we have said till now, the last 20-30 minutes especially. If you have any doubts or if you want to say anything regarding server administration, more than welcome. So I'll just wait for like 30 seconds before I move into the network administration part. So over to you now. Okay, there is a question here, like in the MCSE course, all the topics will be included in the syllabus. See, Pradeep, syllabus will be shared with you like once you finish our seminar. Within like half an hour or 1 hour, you will get an email from the management and they will share the syllabus with you. And whatever is there in the syllabus, we'll see those things. Okay, the topics are already added in the syllabus. Fine. So you can just go through the syllabus and you can check what exactly we are learning in MCSE as well as in CSEM. So right now I am the one who is taking both the courses, server administration as well as network administration. So they will share both the courses with you, both the syllabus with you. So just go through the syllabus to see what exactly we are learning. Okay, fine. So done. So let us go and see what is network administration. So server administration is something that we have discussed for last 20 minutes, and servers will be there everywhere. Like I said, your servers will be there within the company, servers will be there over the internet. So 99% cases you will get a job in a company actually. 99 or maybe more than 99% cases you are working for a company in a company. Okay, so still we need to configure and manage servers. Done. Now let us move to the network administration part. What exactly is there in the network administration part? There are three major topics in network administration part we need to address. One is IP addressing, one is your router part, and one is your switch. I'm just writing the major topics here. IP addressing will take like 1 week. Router will take like more than at least 2 weeks actually. Switch will take 1 week, and there are like some more topics that we need to see. And again, if you want to see what we are learning in the network administration part, you should just wait for the email. They will share the documents with you, and all the syllabus is there in that particular email. Okay, so network administration, we are dealing with three major topics: IP, router, and switch. Now, there is a router here. So what is the work of this router? First of all, it's very hard to imagine a computer network without a router. That's not possible. Because you know what router will do for a network? Router is a device that will make communication between your branch and the other branch. Like, you know, companies have many branches. Like take the example of SBI, State Bank of India. That is very famous in India, right? Maybe every one of you and have at least a account, your account, or maybe someone from your family has account in SBI. You know how many branches are there of SBI? There are approximately 25,000 branches all over the globe. It's a huge network, right? I'm not saying 25,000 people working for SBI. I'm saying there are 25,000 branches of SBI. That's a very, very big network. Now you're working in one of the branch. Like suppose you are from Hyderabad, and in Hyderabad there is a famous area called Amirpet. Suppose your account is there in Amirpet branch, or suppose you are working as an administrator in that Amirpet branch. Now this Amirpet branch should communicate with all the other 25,000 branches. Now how to make communication, or who will make that communication? Now a router is a device that will make communication between your Amirpet branch and all the 25,000 branches. Suppose someone is working somewhere in Kerala. That's it. Kochi, the city he or she is working there. So there is a branch of SBI in Kochi. So that person responsibility who is in Kochi is to make communication between the Kochi branch and all the other branches in India and all over the globe. And how to make that connection and how to make that communication? By using a router. Router will make communication between multiple branches. And we are not talking about this router actually that you see on your screen right now. This is a Wi-Fi router that is used to share your internet connection within some limited number of people. This is not the router we use in companies to make communication with branches. We use a special router, let us say like Cisco router. Cisco is a company that manufactures your routers and switches. Samsung is a company that manufactures your mobile phones, right? Anyway, as well as TVs and refrigerators and all those things. So Cisco is a very, very famous company, friends. Okay, so here we can see these are your Cisco routers. You can see this shape and this size, everything is looking different here compared to the Wi-Fi router. So this is the router that we need to learn. What is there inside the router? What is there outside the router? What are the commands we need to use in the router? What protocols we need to use? How to configure? How to make connection between your office and the branch office? Okay, what cables we need to use? How the cables are passing from your suppose Delhi to Dubai, from Delhi to suppose say Bangalore, and Bangalore to Chennai, how they are connected. All these things we need to learn in network administration part. So this is one of the router actually. If I go with some other router, let's say Cisco 7000 series router. There are some series and models and all those things. See, the router size has increased suddenly now. This is one router again. It's quite a big router, right? So there are different types of series and models and many things we need to learn. So that we will learn in our network administration part. Okay. So that is the work of a router. Router will make communication between two or more different networks. One network can be there somewhere in India. Another network can be there somewhere in Brazil. Another network can be there somewhere in Russia, Dubai, Singapore, Australia, Alaska, anywhere. Router will make communication between Alaska and Delhi, Dubai and Singapore. Got it? So that we will see in network administration part. And then there is a device called switch. Switches will look like this actually. This is a switch. And when you see this closely, there is a name written here like Cisco. So this is again a Cisco switch, you can see. Or it is written in a bigger way here. This is your Cisco switch. So what is the work of this switch? First of all, what you see here is called port. A switch has multiple ports. So this is one port. This is another port. Port is a place where you make a connection, where you connect a device. Like maybe a router can be connected here, a server can be connected, a computer can be connected, a firewall can be connected, a laptop can be connected, a printer can be connected, a scanner can be connected. Each and every device will be connected to switch. So this particular switch has totally 48 ports. That means 48 devices will be connected here for sure. So what if your company has 1200 devices? So we should go with mini switches, right? 30, 40, 50 switches. Or there can be a company with like hundreds of switches. So you should know what is a switch, what are the ports available on a switch, where a device should be connected, what configuration should be done on a switch, okay, what protocols will be used in a switch, how to make connection between two switches, what configuration we have to do between two switches. There are like many things we need to learn about this switch. It will take 1 week. 1 week is a huge time to learn about a particular device, right? 5-6 classes is a huge time. So it will take that much time for us to learn about the switch. Okay, so the switch is a second main device that we are learning. Router and switch are the two physical devices that we are learning in network administration part. Done. Now, IP address is a very, very big fish. You know, when we go with our school exams, remember school days, when we used to write our exams, the final exams or any exams, there were some questions which contains only like 2 marks. Some questions were like 1 mark. Some questions were like 10-15 marks, right? Remember what we used to do in our school days? If there was a question which is for like suppose 15 marks, we used to prepare that question like very well, right? Because you know, one question you are answering properly, you are getting totally 15 marks. It's a huge marks out of 100, right? IP addressing is such a question in your computer career, actually, your networking career. IP addressing is such a topic which has like highest number of marks. Routers, switches, servers, cloud, security, ethical hacking. Okay, all these are technologies. But whenever you go with any of this technology, there is one concept that will come in each and every technology, that is called IP address. And where you are learning IP address, friends, you are learning IP address only in your network administration part, that is CCNA. If you go to cloud computing, without the concept of IP addressing, you cannot learn many things in cloud computing. If you go to security, without the proper understanding of IP addressing, you cannot learn many things in security. If you go with like server administration, deep in server administration like Windows or Linux, without the concept of IP addressing, you will not understand many things in server administration as well. So IP is one of the most important part of our career. This IP address will take around 1 week, that is at least 5, or maybe like I can go with like 6 classes. I'll just go to some of my running classes here. This is CCNA 10 AM class. I've just finished IP addressing for them last 3-4 days, I guess. Yeah, this is your IP addressing for this. See, we can see all numbers, zeros, one, zeros, one, zeros, ones. I'm not scaring you by showing these numbers here, friend. These are like very, very easy for you to understand for sure. We just need to go in a particular order. For everything, for especially in learning process, there is a sequence. We just need to follow the basic things, then the other things will come easily. So again, this is again the second file of IP addressing. So all these things you should learn, and you should learn perfectly. I'll just highlight this IP addressing concept here. This is one of the most important concepts you need to learn. Okay, a very brief introduction about IP. So what exactly is an IP here? IP is a number that we assign on every device. Like for example, there is a server. On this server, I am assigning an IP address as 192.168.1.1. There is a laptop here. On this laptop, I am assigning the IP address as 192.168.1.2. There is a workstation. There is a desktop machine. I am assigning the IP address as 172.16.1.1. I have assigned IP address everywhere, right? But you know, the server and this computer, they will communicate with each other, but the laptop and the server, they will not communicate with the desktop. You can see clearly why I'm saying like this. The reason is the server and the laptop is starting with 192.168.1 here. That means they are in same network. I'm just, you know, showing you something roughly here, just a basic example. So technically there are many things we need to learn there, but as of now, server and laptop, they are in 192.168.1 network, whereas its desktop is in 172.16 network. So they will not communicate with each other. Okay, so there are many ifs and buts there. There is something called network portion, there is something called host portion, there is something called subnet mask, there is a public IP, there is a private IP. Okay, there is a network ID, there is a broadcast ID, there is a valid IP, there are some octets, there are some decimal numbers, there are some binary numbers. So all these things we need to cover in IP addressing in our network administration part. Just to show you the importance of IP addressing, I'm showing you one network here. Again, I'm not scaring you by showing this network. Right now, it will look a bit difficult for you to understand what is there in the network, or I can say you cannot understand anything. To be frank, you cannot understand anything. But just to show you the importance of IP addressing, I'm showing you this network. This is some company's design. We can see many devices like servers, routers, switches, and all those things. But once if I zoom in here, see here carefully, friends. There is a IP address here. 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 This is the IP. This is the IP. This is your IP. This is your IP. All these are IP addresses. These are IPs. IP. See, you cannot understand anything about a computer network without learning the concept of IP address. I can just log in into my cloud account and I can show you the IP address used there also. But still, you know, whenever you go with anything, any other technology, without learning the IP concept, all these are IP addresses again. Without learning this IP concept, it is very hard for you to, like, you know, understand many other things in your networking area. Computer has a IP, switch has a IP, firewall has a IP, server has a IP, router has a IP. If there is a printer, even printer has a IP. So this IP address we are learning in the network administration part. So if you are good in this IP concept, you will be good in all the other technologies. Now, so this is what network administration is all about. You will not see a company network without a server, without a switch, without a router, and without the IP address on these machines. You may take a very big computer like high configuration computer or high configuration router or a switch. But if there is no IP address in that, it is a dummy machine. Now, there are many people connected to this session here, this seminar session. You know, every person has an IP address in their machine. Maybe one person is connected from a mobile phone, someone is connected from a desktop, someone is connected from a laptop. Maybe most of you are not aware of this, but you already got an IP address in your machine. You already got an IP address in your machine. You go and connect to the internet. You said like google.com. Google.com has an IP address. You cannot connect to google.com without the IP. You say facebook.com, Facebook has an IP. You go and connect to Instagram, that machine has an IP. Whichever website you connect, like suppose you connected to your university, okay, your college website and whatever, that college website or the university has a IP address. Suppose in coming days or months or years, maybe hopefully you start your own business, and for your business you're making a website. So for that website also you must configure a IP. So these are the things you need to learn in your server administration course and network administration course. Without the knowledge of the server administration and network administration, it will be very hard for you to learn any other technologies. Whenever you face interviews, friends, you know, there are multiple rounds in interviews. First, they will ask you about yourself. Then, you know, they will just test your communication skills and all those things. Then they will ask you some technical rounds. 95% cases, I repeat, 90 to 95% cases, if you are weak in server administration concepts and network administration concepts, they will not call you for the advanced rounds. You know, some days before I got a message from one of my friend who is in Australia, and he sent me a message and he said like he was facing an interview as a security administrator. There is a firewall here called Palo Alto. This is a very, you know, famous firewall. So he was facing interviews for this security. Okay, this is a city name also. Palo Alto firewall. Exactly. This is one of the most, you know, one of the famous firewalls we have. So he was facing the interview for this job, for a security job. And he sent me around 10 questions from that interview. He's an experienced person. He's not a fresher. You know, when I saw these questions, out of 10, 7 to 8 questions are related to server administration and network administration only. They will start your career. We will start our career from here, and the interview will start from here. After 10 years, please listen carefully. This is 2021. Hopefully in 2031, if you're still in this networking field, if you're still working, and if you're facing an interview somewhere for a better job, for a bigger package and all those things, your interview will begin from server administration and network administration. I have seen many people who came to me who said, okay, we are facing difficulty in learning so-and-so technology. I asked them a simple question. I asked them like, have you done the server administration part and the network administration part? They say no. Jumping from this and learning some other technologies is always a risky thing. Okay, you're not making a career for next 1 year or 2 years or maybe 6 months. You're making a career for like rest of your life, right? Like for like say 15 years or 18 years or 20 years, hopefully. So if you start from server administration and network administration, First of all, you will be eligible to get a job in every company. There is no computer network where a server admin or a network admin is not needed. So you will get a job everywhere. Okay. Then you can move into the other technologies like cloud computing, which is quite famous nowadays. I can say from my experience, I know cloud computing very well. So I can say from my experience, like, whenever you learn any concept, whenever you learn most of the concepts, actually, you're again going back to the server administration part and the network administration part. This knowledge will help you in understanding and learning many things in cloud technology, or maybe security technology, or maybe ethical hacking, whatever things you're planning to move to in future. Done. So this is what this server administration and network administration is all about. Server administration, we are learning about different servers. Network administration, we are learning majorly about 3 topics: IP address, router, and switch. I'll be the person who is taking both the courses. Okay. So Monday, that is tomorrow, at 11:30, we'll be starting our server administration course. Okay. Coming to fees, duration will be like 35 days, and coming to fees and the course content, management will share all the details with you once you finish our course. So you'll get all the details from there. Okay. So if anything else you need, if any other information you need about the server administration, network administration, or what next after, like whatever technologies you want to discuss, I'm more than happy to share all the details with you. Okay, so it's done from my side, friends. I hope I have like presented things in a better way for you. If you have any other doubts, any other questions, like I see, the chat box is open, and this is a seminar. So if you want to talk to me directly, that is also like well and good. This is not a classroom session, right? It's just a seminar. So you can just, use your headphones and you can just talk to me directly. It's over to you now. Yeah, Santosh, Monday, there is tomorrow. Classes will start from 11:30 a.m. We'll start from the very basics and we'll go up to the administration part. If there is anyone who has like zero knowledge of computer networks and zero knowledge of like, anything, see, everyone knows how to use a computer. If I ask you like a question like, do you know how to use a computer? That's a joke on me actually, right? So everyone knows how to use a computer. It's not a big deal. Okay. So if you have zero knowledge on about the computer networks, you can still start learning computer networks from Monday. From Monday, we'll be starting from the very basic, the scratch, what we say. And then we'll go up to the administration level. Monday, 11:30, that is tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. is our first class. Duration of the course, like I said, you is for 35 days. Okay. And timing is from 11:30 till 12:40, 12:45 maximum. Yes, every day from Monday, every day at 11:30. Tomorrow is Monday, so we are starting from tomorrow. Classes will be there at least 5 days a week. 6th day, that is Sunday, we will decide what to do, whether to go with a new topic or whether to like, just do some extra practical. So class, I'll be working for 6 days, Monday to Saturday. So classes will be there for minimum 5 days. 6th day, we will decide whether to go for a new topic or whether to just revise something. So we can just plan according to our schedule, because it depends on the Thursday and Friday what topics we have taken. So I'll be available from Monday to Saturday. Each day class will be there for around 70 minutes. Starting 2-3 days, it will be like 45 minutes to 1 hour. Then it will go up to like 70 minutes. Okay. And the other things that I want to share you now is each and every class is recorded. This session is also recorded actually. This seminar is also recorded. So this seminar will be like uploaded on your YouTube channel. Durgasoft has a YouTube channel, so they will upload this within like 1 or 2 hours. You can just go and check it there. So not only this session, from Monday, whatever sessions we are conducting from Monday till the last day of our course, each and every session will be recorded and each and every session will be shared with you. It's not separate fees for these recorded sessions. Whatever fees they are charging, it's a very minimum fees. I know that for sure. So whatever fees they are charging, the recorded sessions will come in that session only. Starting 3-4 sessions will be uploaded on the YouTube channel. After like 3-4 classes, each and every session will be shared directly with you. Only the basics will be there on YouTube. Once we enter into the administration, it will be directly shared with your mail ID, whatever mail ID you provide. Okay. So recorded classes will be there. Okay. The second thing is I have created some lab books. Theory and some theory and practicals are there. You know, when you do some practicals, you know, sometime you will stuck at some particular place. So instead of going to YouTube or Google and searching for that option, I have already created a book for MCSE and CSN, Windows Server Administration and Network Administration. You can just go to that book and you can refer that book. I'll be sharing that books. Recorded classes will be shared by management. Recorded classes will be shared by management. Books I'll share. Then I'll share some softwares actually. How to do practicals, how to practice server administration, network administration, and all those things. So we have like softwares here, like there is something called Cisco Packet Tracer, and there is something called VMware Workstation. So by using these softwares, you can do all practicals. Like for example, this is a Cisco Packet Tracer software. I'll share this software with you so that you can install this software in your computer and you can do all practicals. See, this is a router here, and we have many computers and switches and departments. You can do all practicals by using the software. I'll be sharing the software with you. Then I have created some interview questions and answers. Questions and answers. I'll be sharing these interview questions and answers with you. There are nearly like 200 to 225 questions I have created. So wherever you face an interview, maybe you are somewhere in Hyderabad or Chennai or Bangalore or maybe in some other country, you can just attend this. You can just go through this interview questions and answers, and you can get a better idea like what questions they will ask you in the interview. Interview questions will be same all over the globe. Remember I told you 3 days before I got a message from my Australian friend. The interview questions are same questions that we ask in Hyderabad interview section. So everywhere it is same. So these 3 things I'll do from my side: books, softwares, and the interview questions and answers. The recorded classes will be shared by the management. Recorded sessions will be there with them, so they will share all this. Okay. Anything else, friends? Yeah, Santosh, syllabus and the fees details, you should go through the email. So you will get all the details in that email. You'll get an email as early as possible. Within like 1 hour, hopefully you'll get an email. Because right now we are conducting many demo sessions, many seminars on different technologies. We have like other technologies also to offer, like cloud and Linux and the Javas and Pythons and all those things. So it will take like maybe around 1 hour for the management to like, send all the details to each and every person. So just wait for like 1 or 2 hours, you will get all the details. See, learning should be always, interesting, and learning should be always, if I say fun, I am not wrong here actually. It should be fun, guys. When you learn something, you should feel like you should learn. It should not be like a boring session, or it should not be a boring topic. So I'll just do my level best to like make things more interesting for you. Okay. I'll just try to go as deep as possible. So learning should be always interesting and learning should be always fun. If you learn these 2 courses, server administration and network administration, easily, these 2 courses will help you in rest of your life. The topics that we are going to learn here, and the understanding what we get here about the networks and the servers and all those things, this will help you in understanding all the other technologies and all the other courses. Okay, so these are the 4 advantages you have. The best is actually the recorded classes. In case if you miss any class for some reason, if you miss any class, before you come to the next class, you should go through your missed class, because you will get the recorded classes within 2 hours, right? Like suppose you finish the class at 12:30, 12:45, you will get your recorded class before like 2:30 or maximum 3 o'clock. So before you come for the next day, you should revise this class. You should watch this class and come to the next class. Because you know, in networking, one class is connected to second class is connected to third class, 20th class is connected to 21st class. So if you miss a class and if you come without the knowledge of that class to the next class, you'll feel a bit confused. So you should always attend, you should always come to each and every class. Try not to miss any class, but in case if you miss, then we have the recorded class. Okay, friends, so that's it from me for today. I'm done from my side. If you have anything else, I'll be still available for you, no issues. So any doubts, any questions, any queries, or anything you want to say, anything you want to add, suggestions and questions are more than welcome. Not only today, till the last day, your questions will like make me feel happy, because you know, if you're asking a question, I can know like where exactly we are moving. So questions should come from question should come in each and every class. Okay, the chat box will be there. The chat box will be open in each and every class. So please send me your question in the chat box so that I can come to your question at the best time possible. Okay, so I'll be here for like some more time waiting for your questions. If no questions, then hopefully we can stop the session. And hope to see you again tomorrow, Monday, with some very basic things. So before we move into the administration part, we need to see the basic things tomorrow. Okay, the server, there is a question here. Server course is on 2016. A server course is on 2016. But you know, there is a server called 2012 as well as 2019. 2019 came recently, actually before like lockdown 2019 came. So still most of the companies, they are working on 2012 and 2016 only. Okay. So we are learning 2016. If you want me to go with 2019, there is no problem. I can go with the 2019 also, no issues. So if you know 2016, you can work on 2012, 2016, 2019, as well as they launched 2022 also actually. Server 2022. So if you know only one server administration, you can work on all the other server administration. Things will not be same. See, I'm just sharing a very, very big technical thing here. Just try to understand this. Server operating system is not designed only for server administration or only for administration. Server operating system is designed for server administration, database administration, virtual administration, cloud administration. All these things will come in the server administration. So our server administration is there for like 20, 22 years, 25 years now. But the other technologies like virtual administration, cloud, all these are like new technologies, right? So still there are some changes happening in that particular place, like cloud administration. But server administration is like, you know, set. Most of the things in server administration is like, you know, set for last many years now. So things will not change in our server administration. But once you go to cloud administration or virtual administration, then things will be like, you know, updating and changing, because those are like relatively new technologies compared to server administration. Okay, so yes, we are learning Windows Server 2000. Yeah,
sorry, sir. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, fine. Okay, friends. So I guess no more questions are coming here. So that's it for today. And thanks a lot for joining today. Today is Sunday. It's not very easy to conduct a class on Sunday, but still thanks a lot for coming in such a big number. So very thank you for that. And very good luck for your career, friends. Just like, you know, first of all, take care of your health and everything. Corona is not yet gone anywhere. It is still around us. So please take care of your health and everything. And second thing is just try to like, you know, go in a order. Whenever you make a career, the starting and how we approach that career is the main thing. You should not jump from here and there. No one can construct a third floor without constructing second, first floor and the ground floor, right? So just think in a very simple way. Okay, so just try to make your career in the best way possible. I can suggest you one thing, that if you want to pursue your career in the administration part, that is your server admin, network admin, cloud admin, security admin, whatever, you can see yourself in this field for rest of your life. There are many opportunities available. Opportunities are available in every company that has a computer network. Small, medium, or the biggest companies. You have a lot of opportunities there. So just take your time and decide like what exactly is best for you. And if someone is planning to go for like cyber securities or cloud administration, it will be great for your career if you start from server administration and network administration. Like I said, you don't jump from here and there. Start from the basic things and go up to the expert level or the advanced level. Okay, so very good luck for your career, friends. Very good luck for your careers, and just try to learn things in the perfect way, the way it should be learned. And then you can go for your jobs and interviews and exams and all those things. I'll go to the jobs and interviews hopefully in Monday. I need to share some more details here. Actually, the time is not sufficient to put everything in one session. So Monday will be like a demo session. I'll be sharing more details about these things. Okay, so hopefully, again, very good luck for you. Very good luck for your careers and all those things. No problem, Santosh. It was just a mistake, right? So no problem. Okay, friend. Thanks again. Thanks for joining the session. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.